rose gold obsession has probably reached a level where it's not healthy, but who cares, right? Hey, it's Kendra and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about moving into your college dorm in my How to Succeed in College series. So since we're entering back to school season, I thought this would be a great video to do since I know a lot of you are going to be moving into your dorm soon, and I remember how I was so stressed out about this. So to avoid all of that stress and to at least try and help you guys with that, I actually made a packing list on my blog that you can, I'll link the post down below. And you can check it out there. There's a PDF version so you can print it out and take it with you to the store if you need to do some last minute shopping, or just to make sure that you have everything, check it off as you pack it in your boxes and you're good to go. I was just so stressed about this, so I made this actually like last year or something, and I'm just now getting around to posting it, so sorry about that, but it's here now. And then I also have some moving in tips for you guys because again, like I said, I was just so stressed out about this. So I thought I would tell you guys my tips on how to move into your dorm, especially because I have been moving a lot lately. I've been moving in and out of my dorms, you know, since like freshman year, and also I actually just moved into an apartment for the summer, and I'm going to be moving again in September into another apartment. So my life is just filled with moving right now, but it's, you know, it's okay. We're almost there. We're entering the final stretch of it. But before we get into this video, make sure you are subscribed to my channel down below so you can see all of my college advice videos. There's a ton in there, so just stay up to date because I'm going to be doing a lot in the month of August and September. So make sure you're subscribed so you can see those. But without further ado, let's get right into this video. So the first tip is to make sure you are well fed and well hydrated. While this may sound obvious, it's just really great to kind of drive home that point. If you get hangry like I do, I will be the first to admit that I do indeed get hangry, and my mom and dad will tell you all about it because I've been like that my entire life. Unfortunately, I don't know, I just can't deal when I'm hungry. So if you know that you get hangry, make sure that you have a lot of snacks available, like healthy fruits, vegetables, anything. You know, it's great if you have healthy snacks. If not, that's totally fine too. Just make sure you are still staying fed and snacking. And also the importance of water. I cannot stress this enough. It is so miserable when you are super thirsty, so make sure you are keeping yourself well hydrated, especially if it's warm like it is at the end of summer, early September. Make sure you have plenty of water so you're not already miserable, because you're going to be hot, you're going to be sweaty, you're going to be sweating out the water that you drink. So make sure to stay and remain hydrated and fed. And my second tip is, again, obvious, but wear comfortable shoes and clothes. If you're not comfortable moving a ton of boxes, you're going to be miserable, especially if your feet are not comfortable. I am a huge advocate of comfortable shoes. I live in my Birkenstocks year round, basically. It's really important to wear shoes that are really comfortable for your feet. This last time that I moved, I actually ended up making a huge mistake. I got a pair of sandals from Target, and they're like about probably half size too big, but it's like they're fine, they're sandals, I can totally get away with it. But when I started moving, my feet started getting hot and sweaty, and since they are bigger, it was like rubbing against the back of my heel, and like the friction was not good, and I ended up with a huge blister, and it was miserable, and by the end of the day I was just like so done. So don't make that mistake and wear shoes that you know are comfortable, not like I did, because that was my fatal mistake. And my third tip is to enlist help. So beg, plead, anything you have to do to get help. Your parents or your family or whatever will probably help you if you ask them to, or if you have friends who are going to the same school, or maybe they're going to school later than you, ask them to help you out so you're not doing this all by yourself. You know, I didn't see anybody move in by themselves when I was moving in my freshman year. So just make sure that you ask people in advance and let them know when you're going to be moving in. So if your parents have to take a little bit of time off of work or something, just so they know, you know, when you're going to be moving in and everything. And this is like true for any time you move. It's always great if you have help. It's miserable trying to move yourself in when you have a ton of boxes. Like, you have more stuff than it seems. So make sure you're asking people to help you. And of course, you know, like buy them a pizza when they're moving in, or buy them coffee, anything that they want really. Just buy them a bite to eat. And you know, of course, offer them water. So just, yeah, I mean, it's oftentimes people are like totally fine if you're like, hey, I'll buy you dinner if you help me move or something. So yeah. My fourth tip is to start packing a long time before you move. So of course, I don't mean like a month in advance. I mean, although you can, start packing at least like 1 to 2 weeks before you move. Famously, I always procrastinate while moving and packing. My dad will start texting me like 2 weeks before asking if I started packing because he knows that I don't do this. And it's terrible. It's just because I hate moving and packing so much, so I put it off for as long as I can, and I always end up screwing myself over, and it's miserable, and I stay up late the night before I move, and then I'm just exhausted the next day. So make sure you're packing in advance just to make sure you get a good night's rest, and just so you're not like forgetting anything and like you're not scrambling to get anything done. The last time I moved, again, I made so many mistakes moving last time. I stayed up until like 3 a.m. packing my apartment. And then I had to move the next day, and I got up early like to make sure last minute stuff was done. So don't do that to yourself. It's not good for anyone. The people who are going to be helping you move out or move in, I mean, are not going to be happy. So just make sure that you're packing. As you buy stuff for your dorm, just put it in a pile or have some boxes open and start packing it away into some boxes so you're not like scrambling at the last minute. Just, you know, have like a college corner or something of your boxes so you can just grab them and go on the day that you're moving. And number 5 is to go through all of your stuff and pick out what you know you're not going to need, or if you need to donate any unnecessary items while you're packing. Like if you find that, you know, you don't need any of this stuff. This really helps because once you like pack, take a minute, like a day or two after, look at everything, and if you don't need something, take it out of there because it's just going to be unnecessary weight while you're moving. I am bad at this, I will admit. I'm like a hoarder basically. I always have way too much stuff and unnecessary things. I get attached to stuff and I don't want to get rid of it. So I need to learn to get better at this, but it does definitely help. I didn't take everything that I had basically from my apartment to this apartment because I knew I didn't need a lot of the stuff, and I need to still go through a lot of my things and get rid of unnecessary stuff, donate it to Goodwill and everything, so I'm not taking a ton of crap to my next place basically. I mean, you really will take in some crap, like in college, wherever you live. I'm sure you have like a ton of junk drawers at home. Like your dorm room can easily and quickly turn into a junk drawer, so make sure it doesn't do that. But yeah, just doing this, especially if you're moving like dorm to dorm, go through your stuff and throw away any unnecessary things, or if you know you're not going to need it, just keep it at home. And if you do end up needing it, I'm sure you can get it from your parents when you go home or anything like that. I mean, Thanksgiving break really isn't that far away, so if you need stuff, you can definitely get it then. And number 6 is to label everything that's in your box really well and really very detailed. I really love to do this. I definitely learned this when my family moved about 1.5 years ago. It's really useful if you are detailing everything that's in the box. If you like label, this is like room stuff, bathroom stuff, kitchen things. It's really helpful, so you're like putting boxes in the section of your dorm that you're going to unpack them in. Also, if you have a box that you know you don't need to unpack for a couple of days, you can spend that time getting to know people on your floor, so you don't have to waste a ton of time unpacking everything because you don't know where anything is. And this also helps you not to lose things. So yeah, I'm really good about this. I will write a detailed list on what is in my boxes. Also, if I have like some bigger items, I'll put that on there to kind of jog my memory when I'm unpacking of like, oh yeah, okay, I put these smaller things with this bigger item, so I knew it would be in here. It's just really useful when you're unpacking once you've moved in. And number 7 is to use a moving cart or a dolly when you move in. And this is obvious, but just so you know, a lot of dorms will make you reserve the carts in advance. They don't have like a ton of them sometimes, so make sure you go and reserve yours when you know you're gonna be moving in. You don't have to like call like days ahead or anything. Just make sure you're going in there and asking if they do have carts and if you have to reserve them. If you don't have to reserve them, great, grab them and go. A lot of the times they'll probably give you a cart or something if you don't have to reserve them. But if you do, just make sure you're checking in advance and that you get it turned in time and everything like that. Or if you need to use it for an extra hour, just call them and let them know. But yeah, just make sure you use a moving cart, or if your dad or your mom or somebody that you know has a dolly, like a moving dolly, those are really nice because you can stack like 3 or 4 boxes on them and just like motor them on up to your room, and it's really easy to get them into the elevator, and it's a lot easier to like move them around. It makes them a lot more mobile. And my 8th tip is pertaining to clothes. So in your closet, instead of taking your clothes off all of the hangers, get trash bags and put them over the bags, and then put the strings like over the hangers. There's like a ton of these tips on Pinterest, you can check it out. But this is super nice because you're not having to take clothes off a hanger, fold them, take them back out, unfold them, put them back on a hanger. This will just get rid of that stress, and it makes it a lot more easy to move them. You can just stack your clothes on one another in the car and you're not having to deal with like a ton of loose hangers. This is really great. I've been doing this since freshman year and it saves a ton of time, especially while you're packing to move out. But also to move in, you can just hang them right up and you don't have to worry about organizing your clothes or like keeping clothes out and like losing your clothes and you're like clothless for a couple of days and you don't know where anything is, which has definitely happened, so be careful. Yeah, it's just a lot easier and a lot cleaner and faster. My 9th tip is to coordinate with your roommates about moving in times and days. So my roommate freshman year, we actually ended up getting assigned dates to move in and times, and she moved in the morning and my move-in time was the afternoon. So that was really nice. Like, we didn't have to worry about crossing paths in the doorway with a ton of boxes or like our families were moving at the same time or anything. It was really great. We just had, you know, morning and afternoon, and it was super easy. So make sure you're just communicating with your roommates and ask them when they're going to be moving in. A lot of the times it's easier if one of you are moving in at different times, so you're not, again, like I said, crossing paths in the doorway or like trying to get through like a small hallway in your dorm or anything. So it's just a lot easier to work it out like that. And my 10th and final tip is to keep any decorations or photos that you want to put up really handy on the top of boxes, in a bag, or like with your person. This is just really great for when you're kind of feeling homesick, like maybe your family and your parents have left and you're just kind of alone in your dorm. You're going to want to have those decorations to make it feel homey, and if you want any photos of your family or your dogs or cats or animals or anything like that, so you can just hang them right up and you can look at them and not feel too homesick. You probably still will feel a little bit homesick, and even if you aren't, it's just nice to have those photos there if you end up missing them later on down the road, or just to, you know, be reminded of people who care about you. I ended up not doing this and I like lost my decorations and lost a lot of my photos when I was moving in, and I was like super homesick the first couple of days, so I just went and I had to get more photos printed and I put them up, but it would have just been a lot easier if I didn't have to go do that. Just make sure you're keeping those things handy for when you'll want them, which is probably gonna be pretty soon, and you can start making your dorm feel like home. Alright, well those are all of my move-in tips, and make sure you're checking out that link below to the blog post with the printable packing list. I'll also link like the Google image link there so you can print it out. It's super useful. A whole master packing list to have. It'll be great, so you know you're packing everything and you're not forgetting anything. Oh my god, I'm like quickly losing my voice. Seattle has been so smoky lately because of the fires in Vancouver, BC, and Canada, the wildfires. It's like crazy, and my lungs are not liking it, and neither is my head. I've had such a bad headache. Oh my gosh, I need water. I don't even know where I was on this outro, honestly. But yeah, so make sure you're checking out that link below. I hope this video was helpful for you guys and that these tips are going to be useful for you. Good luck with moving in. It can be stressful, but it'll all be okay. It'll be a couple of hours of hard work, and then it'll be worth it in the end when you have your dorm room all nice and decorated and cute. It isn't as stressful as you think it is. I know that's super hard to hear because I too was super stressed out my freshman year, or before my freshman year, so totally understand. It will be okay. You'll get through it, and you'll end up meeting people as you move in, so it'll be great. In the comments down below, leave any questions that you have for moving in or anything about college, or if you want to see any college advice for next videos, let me know in the comments and I will try to make those for you. Also, if you have any tips on moving, leave those down below as well. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I wish you the best of luck in your freshman year, or if this is your sophomore, junior, senior year, whatever, or if you're just moving, good luck. I'll see you guys later. Bye.